Welcome back to the Heroes Global Championship. We are here in the EU region, and we missed you during the break. We are preparing for our second series of the day. My name is Trixler, Claris to the left.
Thank you very much, man. Of course, yes, it's going to be a match that has a polarizing difference from what we saw before. While one team was looking to secure themselves a position at the Western Clash, now we see two teams that are wanting to settle themselves in the mid of the table here for Phase 1 and make sure that they avoid those all-important Crucible matches.
Yep, guarantee that they can get to Phase 2. Let's check out the standings here and see how everything shakes out after our last match between Fnatic and Dignitas. Fnatic now is officially the second seed heading into the Western Clash. Dignitas will be the third seed. Now, the matches that we are looking at will be your 5th and your 7th seed right now. Synergy has a chance here to climb up in the ranks, start tying with Trick Esports, while playing Ducks can start moving on Expert, so they definitely want to secure this win. This is a matchup that, as you mentioned, is very important to both these teams.
Yep.
They would love to take their pick away from it. And also, these are teams that are very good at getting to the late game. They are actually very solid teams here in Europe. It's all about ending for them, and they've grown so much in the last few weeks.
They could have potentially been in exactly the same position score-wise if Tricked Esport had not kind of collapsed midway through the Playing Ducks series that we saw. Currently, Playing Ducks is 2-3, whereas Synergy is 1-4.
Yeah.
But the second win that we saw from Playing Ducks came off the back of crazy events from Tricked Esport. But I think Playing Ducks and Synergy, to a lesser degree, have both grown as teams throughout Phase 1. And Playing Ducks is gathering a lot of momentum, so I'm expecting to see them do well here in this series.
Well, the Playing Ducks will share their thoughts on Synergy here. Let's go ahead and see what they think.
У меня с этими ребятами очень хорошие отношения, потому что с некоторыми из них я играл в команде до этого. Очень мне нравится, как играет Крис Плоужен. Он мой хороший друг, поэтому да, я бы хотел бы, чтобы они выигрывали побольше. Вот. А так, ну тоже достаточно сильная команда. Они мне нравятся. Лично я им импонирую. Поэтому. Еще бы я хотел отметить Вольфджо. Тоже с ним поиграл приличное время. Тоже очень хороший суппорт. Мне действительно нравится, как он играет.
Team Synergy is probably, like in my opinion, the weakest team in the entire league. And I think this should be a win for us, for sure.
Я думаю, что в их команде самый сильный игрок это Крис Плоужен. У него довольно-таки большой опыт игры в профессиональных командах. А также я думаю, что Крис неплохо себя показывает после ликвидов. Он тоже очень опытный игрок, поэтому нельзя сказать, что в команде Diamond Skin есть плохие игроки. Просто им надо было чуть больше времени, и я думаю, все у них пойдет очень хорошо.
I think they need a lot of practice as well. I played with Neon as well, like half year ago in France. I know I'm pretty good too. I think they have a lot of potential, but yeah, they have a really hard time in the HGC, in my opinion.
Team Synergy is one of the teams we should beat for sure, else everybody will be in a moody and there will be a weird situation else.
Who has the better beard, you or Wolfjoe?
Конечно, я. Что за вопрос?
A little light humor towards the end there. Always nice to see between two teams. But the main thing I saw there was respect that these teams, Synergy in particular, had for Chris Explosion. And I wanted to echo those thoughts. I feel like we put a lot of emphasis on Sports Billy because he was under the microscope, honestly. When he came on this team, he was the last second edition, and he performed magnificently. But overall, the Playing Ducks has had member-to-member have moments of glory. Wolfjoe has been fantastic on support. Chris Explosion has gotten the engages they want. This team has moments where they kind of explode as individual players, and all they need is that teamwork to constantly come together, and they can just fly over the radar.
Yeah, definitely. This is a game, obviously, where 5 people come together and have to synergize very well with one another. Because if they don't, it's going to be lights out. And that's why you see the big three performing so well. Because for the most part, aside from Zalia coming in from Team Dignitas a little bit later on into the time, they have been together for so long. They have been able to build up those relationships between one another and just kind of not have to second guess what their teammate is going to be doing at a particular moment. So that's what these two teams need to kind of refine a little bit more. And then when they do get that down, they'll definitely be able to contend for some of the higher spots.
Yeah, looking to find that well-oiled moment. Let's check out the battleground here for our best of 5 in this series for game number 1 after our bans. So here are our bans. Sky Temple will not be played here. Playing Ducks gets rid of it. Synergy will remove Infernal Shrines. And now our first battleground. Where do we go? Dragonshire will be the choice.
We are in The Valera patch.
We are in the Valera
We
patch.
have Team Synergy. We could see Rexar.
Yeah. Or Valera. I was hoping you were going to say that too. But yes, Rexar as well. That's one of the things that we need to talk about is Hydra,
Yes.
the player for Synergy. He has definitely become their main go-to guy to have that odd variety. He's played the Vikings. He's played Rexar. Maybe we'll have Valera today. It all comes down to Synergy and how they come together as a team to find those moments to play the oddball heroes and try to play them well. So here we go. Playing Ducks Synergy. Zul is the instant ban here, and that is becoming a trend on Dragonshire.
Yeah, get rid of it. It's too powerful on that bottom and mid lane. So make sure you can get rid of that. So staying on smaller battlegrounds, very, very good potential here for playing Ducks against what we're seeing here from Synergy. Because Synergy would love to have things like Vikings on the bigger battlegrounds, etc. and stuff. But Tassadar will be banned. The obvious usual go-to, and Volstad pick up to start. A very, very strong pick here for that Shrine control.
It's a grab for the Falstad. Now, you did see in the key to his victory there that I want to see Power Dream have a better game this weekend. Last week, he just unfortunately seemed to be a bit off with his engagements, and it really hurt Synergy in a series that they were doing actually really well in. So hopefully Synergy can come together.
Especially when they're gravitating more towards kind of the solo warriors, unless they're going to put Hydra on a second warrior. Something like a Dahaka if they find opportunities to get it. I don't think Playing Ducks would give them Falstad and Dahaka on this map. I wouldn't mind seeing them pick that up in this rotation with something else.
Dahaka is very likely, especially with being one of the top 5 heroes played by the Playing Ducks. Now, do remember that they go often into Tychus and Malfurion, so those are also slots here for the Playing Ducks.
They were even looking towards Valor very strongly in their previous drafts without actually having any shield capability for it. So that is something that could come into play as well.
ETC and Malfurion will be the selection here for the Playing Ducks.
Why should we move away from the absolute go-tos is their question, because these are, again, these two picks are the stable foundation for a comp later down the line. We've said it many times, exactly the same phrase, because that's how powerful ETC and Malfurion are.
And also, this is also a grab that you take away from the Playing Ducks. Synergy was getting to a point where last week they just started throwing ETC onto Power of Dream. Normally he plays Muradin, but he was having a poor week, and so ETC gives him the chance to have those power slides into mosh pits. Now Synergy kind of gets reduced to Muradin and their Anubarak, oddly enough, as the heroes that we've seen often from Synergy. So the Warrior slot is definitely something getting choked out right now. Dahaka will be the pickup, and there is Sergeant Hammer.
Hammer, hammer, hammer. Well, I guess we're just gonna...
What happened in scrims this week? Where Hammer just, oh my gosh, she is God tier. We have to pick her all the time.
I think the fact that the way in which her hyper, her thrusters work means that technically she actually has a pretty good escape mechanism to be able to also put on very good auto attack damage. And then if you actually do get to that level 20 when Nexus Frenzy becomes a thing, then she's really dishing out a lot of damage. I think people really started to respect her auto attacks over everything, not even in Siege mode. And then if you actually get a pick, then you capitalize hard on structural damage.
Well, the Playing Ducks will be getting out the Johanna here on the far left. At least they are hovering it for now. With Dahaka being in the top lane, you're going to need some kind of warrior in your rotation. I don't know if Synergy be the ones that go for Johanna, though. I feel like I would still... Muradin's probably one of the pickups for Synergy.
So I don't know who plays the Hammer on Synergy. I'm going to assume it's Hydra, because he's their be-all and end-all of wacky picks and plays and stuff like that. So banning the Johanna, I think I don't mind, because I don't foresee a future where Hydra wouldn't be playing the Hammer and thus probably wouldn't have a Rexar. The thing is that Hammer is not so much a wacky pick to the point where you could put anyone on a Hammer and all they have to do is auto attack. Chromie gets banned. This is... hello? Is that our previous series?
Yeah. Well, Playing Ducks does have a fantastic Chromie player, Chris. In fact, last week after he played it, he hit me up on Skype afterwards. He goes, there's your Chromie pick that you've been wanting for the last few weeks. So
eat that trick.
They eat that trick. So Chromie has been banned out. Also good counter against Sergeant Hammer. And just a note on Sergeant Hammer, by the way. In Korea, she's been played 14 times, and she has a 57% win record. So
doing good.
Definitely a hero that is growing in what some would call the best region in the world. And now she is being seen here in Europe as a strong pickup for lots of teams. Now, Playing Ducks do have ETC. They have Malfurion. It's time to start seeing some damage here. Tychus has been a go-to a lot here, but Vala is also up. And Vala got more weight thrown her way for the Playing Ducks last week.
I'm thinking something... almost all of Chris's picks are open apart from that Chromie. So something, again, like a Valor could come into play, but it will be Tychus and Ragnaros. So that will be Chris on the Tychus, which he's gained more of an affinity for as of late, especially at the start of 2017. And then Ragnaros should be played by Nande. So now we're just waiting for a Sport Billy pickup, which could end up being Medivh down the line, actually. I think that would be pretty cool, but we'll see.
We'll see if that will be the choice here. Tychus is also really good against Sergeant Hammer. The grenade allows you to displace her if she ever does go for the siege moment, whereas Vala has a harder time dealing with her. The range is just pretty hard for Vala to walk into. You're going to get at least a quarter of your health bar burned down before you can get a chance to auto-attack her. So Tychus, the safer pickup as the assassin for the playing Ducks. Ragnaros there for the top lane. So yes, Sergeant Hammer, Dahaka, Falstad, we need our support. We've been seeing a number of Malfurions here from Synergy. However, with Malfurion not being available, Synergy does have a large pool. They have been the one that played the most supports throughout this entire tournament. I actually wouldn't mind seeing a Karazim here for them.
Yeah, it's something that Sevka has actually gone to quite a bit. Brightwing is not something that's as common for him. So Brightwing and Variant come out. I think he might have played like 1 or 2 Brightwings, if that. Sevka so far in HGC Europe. It's all been Malfurion, Karazim, Rehgar, and Oriel kind of thrown into the mix there.
I kind of would have liked to have the Morales a little bit more. The Brightwing's good though for ETC. The Polymorph, very helpful. You also have a solid foundation for sitting on a lane there with the passive heals constantly. Anything
beyond a Medivh to me is a surprise. Or a Zarya. Like, a Medivh or a Zarya for me are what I would like to see Sport Billy on. I'm trying to think what else he could play.
I think I like Zarya a bit more. So you get the shield for the engage for ETC. You also need some wave clear here. Ragnaros has that wave clear top lane, and Tychus does okay with the aid of Malfurion and ETC in the rotation.
I mean, any shield that they go down is like a predictable, easy soak of damage against a Variant taunt and then follow up on any damage that will come from it.
And you get the cleanses at 13 and 16 for the Variant engage.
Yes.
Ooh, Li Ming! Wow!
Okay, so that means there is a little bit of a switch-up of what might be played here then, because that actually might be Chris, and then we may end up seeing...
4 billion on Tychus.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay. All right. Well, the Li Ming pick. Huh. So just looking at the draft overall, Li Ming does give you displacement. It does give you siege potential that Chromie would naturally fit for the Sergeant Hammer. However, you do have members on your team that can be eliminated quickly with the Variant engage, especially before 13. So you have the Variant, you have the Brightwing Polymorph, and then you have the Hammer damage, even a Falstad rotation. So early game will need to be a bit more passive from the playing Ducks compared to what we've seen in the past, especially with Synergy being the aggressive team they are.
Yes, we've seen Sport Billy play very few Tychuses compared to Chris, which is why kind of we had the little throw-off and that shake-up in the draft there. I think he's played maybe 1 or 2 Tychuses throughout HGC Europe so far. So this is a more of an unconventional comp to have Li Ming and Tychus at the same time for them. That being said, it's still a lot of damage coupled up with the Ragnaros. So they have great blow-up potential on their side.
Especially with Brightwing being on the opposing team, if you do get a reset, that team for Synergy will crumble quickly. She doesn't bring the burst damage to help out with that, and then there has to be the disengage. So, yeah, it's a solid pickup here for the playing Ducks. Now, you at home, of course, let us know what you think about this. Hit us up on Twitter, Heroes Esports. Use the hashtag HGC. We'll always enjoy hearing what you guys believe here. And let me know, what do you think about all these Hammer picks? Are you enjoying watching them? Are you learning a lot of new stuff? Because that's what we're here for.
We had the hashtag Heroes Olympics yesterday, and it's like, who's going to throw the hammer far enough? We didn't mean this hammer.
The actual little hammer.
Please just, not this hammer, right? Okay.
I think Diablo wins that actually end game. He's the one that actually can throw
Shadow
hammer.
Charge and some overpower.
Oh, Upheaval actually is a throw when you think about it for Cho'Gall. All right, guys, let's get ready. Game number 1 here, Dragonshire Best of 5 series coming your way. The playing Ducks will be facing off against Synergy.
All right, to the left-hand side to start things off on Dragonshire for the best of 5. It's the playing Ducks, with Wolfjo going to be on Malfurion, Chrisplosion will be on ETC, and as suspected, Sport Billy having the slight change up there going on the Tychus. Chris will be playing the Li Ming, and finally we'll have Nande on the Ragnaros, which he is so well versed at.
To the far right, Synergy. Sepka will be showing off the Brightwing team captain here for Synergy. Power of Dream on the Variant. Engages will need to be on point here. Neon will be playing his Falstad, the guy with the better beard, as said in interview. Sir Ice Cream, as Kalaris would say. And then Hydra on Dahaka.
Dahaka. Wow, that was American.
Yeah, it was. We go in, man.
He sounded kind of like Jake. for a moment there.
Yeah.
Dahaka.
Jake's a good guy. I don't mind being compared to him.
But yeah, Sir Ice Cream. What a guy. Sir Ice Cream. Looking forward to seeing what he's going to do here. With the fact that he's on, a hero that I wasn't really expecting to come out in this draft, but after the last series, we can basically expect anything now.
Oh, well played by Nande. Only 2 members being seen on the map here means that somewhere there are 3 people. So Nande goes for the super elongated way of getting to his lane, so he's going to have to deal with this 3-man gank that has been set up here by Synergy. Ooh, he could actually be picked if Hydra moves in. Falset hits the hammering, there could be a kill, especially with that Varian being there.
Yeah, got to be very careful with that. So interesting that level 1 Lion's Maul was picked up by Varian and not Overpower. They're looking to not go for this. And noticeably, we didn't mention it during the draft, but the fact that they have 3 globals is insane. Actually insane on this map.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to just delay those shrine phases. They do fall off a little bit hard in terms of hard engage, but luckily they have the Variant themselves. But the hard engage comes in the form of ETC, but it is only 1 warrior, so they do have the chance to make the plays against that engage. Sefka on the right side, helping out with the movement. Chris Explosion comes in, and Chris says, here's an orb. He used the Q button, and no longer will Sergeant Hammer be here on the battleground as he departs from this world.
So I was about to say that as long as they don't lose anybody Synergy, they should technically have amazing control over these shrines. But losing someone that early means that it's a little bit more difficult for them. You can't really capitalize too much on such a small death timer here as playing Dux, but they're going to try. As Ragnaros will take this one. Li Ming can't hold the bottom one, though. There's no way against a Varian as well as that Brightwing down to the bottom. So, shrine for shrine.
Yep, the tug of war continues. Nande, knowing that his Li can't hold the bottom lane, actually lost 2 minutes of experience just to grab that shrine. How important it is not to give up a dragon here in the early game. Power, Sefka, and Sir Ice Cream have set up down here in the bottom right.
Is that Bribe on Brightwing?
That is Bribe on
Pixie
Brightwing.
Charm. I didn't even know that was the name of it.
You charm the mercenaries. Hello, mercenaries. You're so cute. Please fight for us. Power, though. It's powered out. As Fort Philly is also going to be taken out as Hydra has a rotation.
And that's trade for trade, 1 for 1 towards the mid. But of course, taking Varian away from the comp on the other side, I mean, admittedly, Dahaka is in a bit of a better spot. Still, with 1 member down and him coming back in very soon, they can still be okay in those rotations. Doing very good down towards the bottom here. Mr. Sir Ice Cream. Can't really siege up at all, though, against Chris. It's kind of like we saw Hammer versus Chromie in our previous game, and Li Ming versus Hammer is still kind of a similar effect, just not quite as, if it's blocked by another hero, then that's perfect, but sometimes that doesn't happen.
Yeah, the range is smaller and they're more telegraphed too. It's not as fast.
Yeah.
That was an ability coming your way, so Hammer has a chance to even escape that damage, but still in concept, it is still similar. So Sefka, with that Bribe talent, will be hugging Hammer all day. They have become best friends. Every heal that Sefka gets off on Sir Ice Cream will give him a Bribe stack. Getting 20 will give him the Mercenary camp to push for. And on Dragonshire, I think there is a case. Even though this map is incredibly old and well figured out, that there is a case for controlling the Mercenary camps, especially the bottom left and the bottom right. Grabbing those gives you the pressure that you want to open up Sergeant Hammer.
Yeah, if you think about Pixie Dust, considering their actual comp as a whole, they don't really have great ways of cleaning up mercenary camps and allowing them to push, unless you have a Dahaka, but you want him to be in the solo lane. That's an attack on towards Brightwing, though. She's going to go down. And Chris Explosion here under threat, as well as Chris. That's a double kill. Oh, instantaneous pop as Neon gets away.
The Globals coming in here. 3 takedowns from Synergy. The false at rotation. Neon surviving here. Great knockback from Sir Ice Cream. 1 Brightwing for 3 opposing members. I'll take that trade all day.
Instantly the siege up from Sir Ice Cream. Brilliant stuff to get that value down towards the bot lane. So pushing them ahead in terms of experience. But back to my point, I think Pixie Charm is actually a very good pickup considering that they can't quickly do those camps without it. So yeah, I think it's pretty nice.
Camp's not being done, but getting taken here by the Pixie Charm will open up the chance for the Globals to be just as much more impactful too. So Sefka will continue to work on getting those heals, get those stacks built up. Should be close to having a stack soon here. It's been healing up pretty substantially. Power, sitting in the front line, looking for an engage on Chris. Chris is forced to play safe here on the back left side. At the same time, Ragnaros has been holding top. Nande doing well in his lane against Dahaka.
That pronunciation.
Yo, man, you say Prism when you say prison, so I'm allowed to have my one. I'm allowed to have my one.
My accent's bizarre for a lot of people. I can't help it.
Many love your accent. Don't worry. As I wink over at you.
No, thank you. No, he actually did it as well.
Top lane continues to be in trouble. We have the Dragons grab here as Synergy, for the first time, has been able to grab both the bottom and the top shrine. Could have a dragon for a second there, but with Ragnaros controlling his lane so well, Explosion with the constant rotation, Synergy is not finding an opening here to grab a dragon. There goes a power slide. They're falling more slightly late. Varian in trouble, does walk away with parry, and the trend's being out, and counter engage on Explosion.
Power of Dream has got to play very, very carefully in this series and in this game just at the moment, because he is getting hurt a lot by the good combos coming out from Chris. Admittedly, they do have level 10 though, so it will be Blink Heal, Mighty Gust. Taunt is coming out.
Power coming in. Explosion does power slide away. 10 here for Synergy, as you mentioned with Taunt being here, and that was a deadly moment for the Flying Ducks who could not escape.
Yes, it was. Looking to wrestle away this camp. Not too bad at all. Just take away some of the power here from Playing Ducks and make sure that they can seize the momentum. And even Sir Ice Cream's positioning there where he's sieged up. There was a little bit of risk because Li Ming was down there, but that's going to be a Dragonite secured for them. And here comes the Disintegrate, putting on some damage towards Power of Dream, but nothing to speak of. That's a great cleanse coming out there from Wolf Joe.
Solid play there from Synergy. They put so much pressure on the bottom left, the Playing Ducks were forced to respond to deal with the Giants. Forward down there, Dahaka grabbed the top, and then he burrowed in the middle lane, grabbed the Dragon, and pushed down the middle. However, this Dragon has been burned down incredibly fast. Faster than you normally see. I know Dragons aren't as powerful in the early game, but man, they took a lot of damage there. Ooh, Neon in trouble though. Sir Ice Cream from the side woke up for the knockback. Explosion does use the mosh pit. All four will survive for now, but Neon does get taken out as we have Sports Billy coming from the side here with that giant Odin. Another burst here as the level 10 spike for Playing Ducks has hit.
The flanking Commandeer Odin of all things. As long as you can do it in a bush and make sure your opponent doesn't see it for a little while, take them by surprise. That was a really, really nice play coming out from Playing Ducks as they will look to grab themselves some towers here or there, equalizing up the odds from that Dragonite that previously was in the hands of Synergy.
It looks like that the mosh pit that was actually used was stopped quickly enough to where it still is available here. For Explosion, power goes for the engage. Neon on the top left here. Here goes the hammering. Explosion being poked at the same time. Polymorph comes out. Here goes Neon. Mighty Gust to secure the takedown. And that's a dead hamburger patty.
Yeah, so now that actually takes a lot of the momentum away from Playing Ducks. They can't really do too much without ETC, and he doesn't have stage dive, and he has mosh pit, so they're going to have to sit back, rest upon their laurels, and take a hard camp, and not really exert themselves on these lanes as Synergy pushes himself towards 13. So a good window for them.
Good window, power pushing down the middle. Here comes the Molten Core. Power needs to get away. Molten Spin comes out. Oh wait, they didn't do it yet. So Fear smash first actually to hit Sir Ice Cream. I think there was a chance there to actually hit the Variant. He does walk away as Nande uses Molten Core.
There's a very weird little interaction there between the speed at which you boost away as Hammer and the raining meteors from the Molten Core. They got exactly the same speed. So whereas you're actually slower, you avoid more of them on the retreat out. If you actually run with them as the Sergeant Hammer whilst you're boosting, you get hit by all of them. So you need to sidestep them by the looks of things as Hammer, is what I'm trying to say.
The meteors are quite painful against Hammer.
Yeah.
All right, Mercs in the bottom will continue the push. Synergy is oddly enough ahead here in the series. Didn't think I'd be saying that in game number 1, but with the power of 3 globals and the power they have soaked and the control of the Dragon, slightly ahead here of the Playing Ducks. Watch up for Explosion, and he is floating up here.
Aside from some of the more wacky picks that I think Hydra played a very good Lost Vikings in the previous games we've seen him play it, I think Dahaka is probably one of his best heroes. We've seen them go towards that for Hydra, and he has played it very well. It's his, I think, most common hero, along with Vikings in a weird world, because I think he's played like 3 times now.
Solid play by him. Power, though, gets Warbringer in as Explosion goes for the power slide. Hydra on the left here going for that engage. Can he get the drag? The drag actually did miss. Power, though, does go in. Explosion getting focused down despite the CC not fully connecting with him. Wolf Joe, Tranquility here into Ice Block, but he is not meant as he will depart from the world. There's a takedown Power. And the front, there goes another charge here, and there's a big wipe happening as Synergy take out 3 members.
The auto-attack damage from Falstad and Sir Ice Cream, it's just, on Sergeant Hammer, was brilliant stuff. It really, really does so much. More than I was really expecting on that ETC. And as such, They have granted themselves so much room here to do whatever they want. Giant Killer on both of them rips through ETC.
And Hydra now grabbing the Dragon. I wouldn't mind if he went middle and soaked a level 16 here. There we go. Now he does. He started heading towards the bottom lane, but decides to grab the fort. That's easy 16 for them. Another pickoff. Crystplosion.
Look how fast he dies.
Yeah, having an
Double
off day.
Giant Killer is brutal.
Fatality. As we have ETC burned out. Power on the right side. Sports Billy going for the chaser. Ice Cream stands still, and Chris will miss the big orb on him. Hydra now pushing in. Here comes Molten Core. Hydra can focus it down. Oh, but the Molten Swing hit Power, and Power will be flung up in the air. Takedown for them. Hydra now still continuing to work on this keep.
I think he was very much so on the edge of Molten Swing there, so a little bit unfortunate for Power of Dream, considering the range. But Hydra's going to confirm the kill of that heat down towards the bottom with his teammates. Now they're going to look for the pursuit. 4v4 at the moment. ETC coming in on the mount. All of these guys for Synergy aren't mounted up. They've got to be very careful of this potential flank if ETC gets there in time.
Yeah, they have two heroes that do not have mounts here. There goes the power slide. Crystplosion goes for it. Brightwing will get out. Hydra on the right side goes to the drag. Does burrow away, low on health, and he does escape. Now, for you at home, if this is the first time that you have seen Synergy in action, this is what they do time and time again. They're early game, they're mid game, incredibly solid. But now we get to the late game where they always fall flat. Here we go, Synergy. I need you guys to close this one out. They are in such a good spot right now.
Yeah, I think they have a great potential in this game to close it out. We're seeing the ETC here is being shredded by the two auto attackers as we have a full auto attack build coming out from our full start, apart from Boomerang at level 7, of course.
Yeah.
Which is even the go-to in these auto attack builds, not exactly that secret weapon. To the point where I actually wouldn't mind secret weapon here, actually. Like, it would do a lot. But the Boomerang is like the guaranteed damage, I suppose.
Helps the wave clear too. But at 16, talking about these auto attacks, ETC does get a tool to help him deal with this pressure coming his way, imposing presence. And if he can survive through that, pop the AoE, get the slow going, there is a moment where Crystplosion can survive a little bit longer here, get those power slides, get those knockbacks, and get those mosh pits. So 16 is very close for our team. We're about, what, 15 and a half here for the Playing Ducks, so they are moving towards that moment. But again, Synergy. They're in the late game. They have the 3 globals. Continue momentum. Continue pushing in. Control those mercenary camps because you have the Pixie Charm. And I see them being in a spot where they can handle everything that comes their way.
Yeah, there is a room if Playing Ducks gets a blow up on someone via Sulfura Smash, via Li Ming just popping off and killing everybody.
Yeah.
That could definitely work in their favor. It just depends on how the engagements go down. And of course, right now, with the talent advantage that Synergy has, I don't think that they're going to allow those kinds of things to happen.
Yeah, critical mass is something that you have to watch out for with that Li Ming getting a reset. And with the Chris, too. Chris is just a powerhouse on that hero. But obviously, we have a couple more minutes until the next dragon does come in. Let's go ahead and move into our first game here. Remember, this is a best-of-5 series between Synergy and the Playing Ducks. We still have a couple more minutes here until the next dragon does pop in between our two teams. So rotations will be the name of the game. Please be on point with your rotations. Here we go. Power and Hydra in the top, heading into the fort, and I love this maneuver. Push in the fort while you have an advantage, and make sure to open up the map.
Very sneaky. Looking to just find a spot, just in case Ragnaros was to step out there into the middle of that lane. But, of course, getting themselves some extra fort damage is always nice. You almost never, just as a tip, you never really, as an attacking team, want to use this bridge as an attack path because it's fraught with danger. We almost never see that top heap fall unless something catastrophic has gone on for the opposing team, because that bridge is, it's Death Bridge, man.
Yeah, that's the name of it in the community here.
Yeah.
Death Bridge. You are guaranteed yourself a death there, because there's no way for you to move. Just for those wondering why, there's no way for you to dodge out on AoE that comes your way, and it's easy resets for Ragnaros if he gets that Sulfura Smash to hit someone, and Li Ming gets the resets there with their W in the Q. So staying away and not pushing that keep is probably your best call. The bottom is a much more TC option, and you'll see teams go that route very often.
Ooh, all right, interesting. Gravitating range, I think. Yeah, oh, that's cool. We haven't got to see this from any of our hammers in HGC Europe so far. So that's going to allow technically massive space control, and if they get a kill, then they can really capitalize heavily on their siege potential. But it requires them to have that initial kill to then push forwards.
Well, it's still great on this battleground, period. When you do grab a Dragon and he's still in a 5v5, your Dragon being that front loader for the opposing team to put damage on, Sergeant Hammer can siege up in your opponent's base and hit both the core and the keep, based on how the fight's breaking out. And with there being triple squishies, Malfurion, Tychus, Li Ming, and even Ragnaros to a degree, Sergeant Hammer has a playground here. But she does have to watch out for the Li Ming resets, as you were mentioning. But still, a pickup that can be powerful if a Dragon is picked.
Yeah, and you may be looking at, Power of Dreams build on the variant and being like, well, all the big three do a different build with the overpower and all that stuff. But the thing is that this works better because, you don't necessarily need Mortal Strike against the Tranquility and the regrowth that's coming out from a Malfurion. The other build that we normally see from the big three, or other teams in fact, with the overpower and the Mortal Strike, is just better against Rhaegar. We need to kind of keep emphasizing that because it's a newer thing that has come into the meta. Of course, Variant isn't super new, but those build diversities in him are against which healers you're going up against.
Yeah, the Mortal Strike can be helpful, and then also at the same time, if there's an engage, now Synergy has a way to slow down the opposing team as they retreat. It doesn't work out for them with that Lion's Maw, and also the charge damage. Being available with the Warbringer and the Juggernaut is helpful for helping Sergeant Hammer clean up kills. Dragon, now available for our team. Zahaka's are in the top lane, Tower in the front, Sport Billy going for the interruption.
Yeah, and not doing too badly. They absolutely need to take this fight. If they could get Power of Dream, that would be great, but Cleanse will come out on towards him and just back away from playing Duck. Synergy's playing this very, very patiently. All they need is level 20, then they'll have full control once again.
So close to 20. Playing safe here. Oh yeah, here's another thing too. If a Dragon does go to play in Ducks, so Ice Cream can set up behind his fort, the gravitating range.
Yeah, it's mental.
Will help him defend too, so.
It's mental, mate.
That it is. 20! So close for our team. You can see it there in the experience bar. They only need one more wave, and they will be good to go to pick their Storm Talents.
The super scary thing for playing Ducks is if that does go down, they're going to try and go for this fight, actually hold the phone as Hydra is coming in at the backline. They're almost level 20 as well. They pick off Tychus up towards the top. That's a great spot for them. Wolf Joe's going to fall. That's 2 for 0. 20 is hit, and now Nexus Frenzy is in with graduating range. That is absolutely brutal.
Absolutely. Shrine to the top, Shrine to the bottom. 20 here. Dragon for the taking for Synergy. They have only 3 opposing members that can slow them down. Grab this Dragon and just head to the bottom lane.
Yep.
Now, set up with Sergeant Hammer. Continue your pressure here. Take your advantage and move forward. Now, do be careful. Li Ming is still in the game. One of the best defenses here for the core. We've seen it multiple times in the playing Ducks. They know how to play a man or two down when they have their Li Ming.
One important thing here is that Synergy actually has one of their warriors in the Dragon Knight. They had all the room in the world to get those shrines, so this is a perfect setup for them to finish the game with one of their warriors in the Dragon Knight.
So Ice Cream will set up Sin. Can start to see. Molten Core being popped out though will slow that down. Big Sulfurious Smash though. Ice Cream needs to be careful there, sieging up while Molten Core is up. I wouldn't mind if he waited longer for that to occur. Chris in the front line, low on health. Already Hydra is doing damage to the core. Neon on the left. Oh my gosh, Sport Billy just spawned and has been eliminated again here.
Yeah.
Chris in the top left. Chris working the damage in.
And also the hammer from the backline. So we don't see it on camera, but it's doing big damage to that core as well. That is going to be GG. Game number 1 will go to Synergy. And they make this hammer comp with the 3 globals work tremendously. I
am so proud of Synergy. I'm kind of been a little bit more of a mother hen for this team as I constantly watch them. I want them to do well, and they have finally ended a game, and they played it well. I feel like Sir Ice Cream's positioning was a little bit too bold, setting up there near the Molten Core for that easy Sulfurious Smash, but Browning is there to help him defend and live there, so I'm not going to hate too much, but they have finished the game, and that is awesome to see. Let's get ready for game number 2 in this best of 5 series.
One day I wake up to find that me and my friends are lost. Again! No one said it was your fault, Olaf. But if there's one thing we're good at, it's... getting lost? No, Balog, we're good at... now what? Listen!